Assalamualaikum, Kisahkan, Bikaya, Alhamdulillah. In this modern era, we have experienced rapid development in science and technology. But do you know that this progress is indebted to the contributions and thoughts of Muslim scientists, who laid the foundations of modern science? Now, one of these figures will be the subject of our story. Who is he? And what is his story? Let's listen to his story. Bismillah. Al-Khwarizmi is a prominent Muslim scientist who has made significant contributions to human civilization through his role in developing mathematics and laying its foundations as the basis of algebra. This role also contributed to the revival of mathematical knowledge beneficial to science, particularly natural sciences and technology, so much so that it's likened to the soul in the body. His name is Muhammad bin Musa Al-Khwarizmi, also known as Abu Abdullah Muhammad bin Ahmad bin Yusuf. In his time, he was titled as an Ustad. Al-Khwarizmi was born in 164 Hijri in the region of Khwarizmi in Central Asia. He was an expert in Hanafi fiqh, actively writing and issuing fatwas in the Hanafi school of thought. Al-Khwarizmi was once appointed by the Caliph to serve as a judge, but declined, ultimately leading Caliph Al-Ma'mun to appoint him as the manager of the library. Additionally, at a young age, he worked under the rule of Caliph Al-Ma'mun, serving as the director of Beit al-Hikmah in Baghdad. Al-Khwarizmi worked in an observatory, a place for studying mathematics and astronomy, earning him recognition as one of the leading astronomers in Baghdad. In the field of education, Al-Khwarizmi was known as a knowledgeable Islamic figure. His expertise extended beyond Sharia law to include philosophy, logic, arithmetic, geometry, music, mathematics, Islamic history, and chemistry. Al-Khwarizmi authored several scientific research works and books in these various fields, including encyclopedic books on science. Due to his reputation, he gained the trust of two Abbasid caliphs, namely Caliph Al-Ma'mun and Caliph Al-Wathiq, who entrusted him with important tasks and scientific research. The period from 780 to 850 AD was the heyday of Al-Khwarizmi. He was the first to discover algebra and separate it from mathematics, as evidenced by his famous book Jabr wa al-Muqabala, recommended by Caliph Al-Ma'mun as a guide for the public, making calculations easier for inheritance, distances, and more. With this book, Al-Khwarizmi was able to provide answers to inheritance problems mentioned in the Quran. Before this time, the term algebra was not known. This book was later translated into Latin and English. Al-Khwarizmi's works were translated by Gerhard of Gramano and Robert of Chester into European languages in the 12th century. This spurred the advancement of science in Europe. His writings in Europe became textbooks in prominent schools until the 16th century. One of Al-Khwarizmi's research results and conclusions on right-angled triangles later became the algorithm theory, a highly valuable legacy still used today. This theory has been widely used in various engineering problem-solving solutions. Al-Khwarizmi introduced the concepts of secants and tangents in solving trigonometric equations and astronomy. He also introduced the theory of isosceles triangles and calculated the area of triangles, quadrilaterals, and circles in geometry. In the field of mathematics, Al-Khwarizmi introduced the Indian numerals and calculation methods to the Islamic world. He cited Indian numerals and wrote a book about them, creating a book that had never existed before in mathematics by making chapters in it. Al-Khwarizmi was the first to discover the number 0, which is still in use today. By introducing this simplified number and adding the number 0, even the most complex calculations can be solved practically, compared to using Roman numerals available at the time, even with computers. This book was the first mathematics book to enter Europe to being translated by the English translator Adelaide of Bath, and for centuries, it served as a reference for scientists, businessmen and engineers. Europeans wrote Al-Khwarizmi's name as the author of the book in various versions, including Khwarizmi, algorithm, algorithmi, and algorithmus. However, the most famous of these names and used for centuries was algorithmi. An English politician and thinker, Anthony Nutting, emphasized the importance of Al-Khwarizmi's books in mathematics and algebra. From those books, Europeans learned the Arab numeral system taken from Indian calculation methods, and also learned algebra. If not for this Arab numeral system, it would have been impossible for Europe to trace the difficult Roman numeral system, he said. Al-Khwarizmi also laid the foundations of astronomy in his book Sanad-Hindi. In this book, he also created famous astronomical diagrams. He also wrote several important books in astronomy, including Al-Amal Bi-al-Istihbab and Jadwal an-Nujum wa Harakatuha. Al-Khwarizmi was also part of a team of scientists involved in the project to measure the circumference of the Earth during the time of Caliph Al-Ma'mun. This measurement was done using astronomical methods. From this measurement, Muslim scientists successfully calculated the circumference of the Earth with precision exceeding that of the Greek Alexandrian mathematician Eratosthenes did. In geography, Al-Khwarizmi wrote the book Shuratul al-Ard, which confirmed Ptolemy's views and created more detailed maps than those written by Ptolemy. This book described the various parts of the Earth in detail. Al-Khwarizmi also wrote a book titled Taqwim al-Buldan. It is undeniable that Al-Khwarizmi's scholarly contributions and ideas have played a significant role in the advancement of science and technology, a fact recognized by the Western world itself. An Italian scientist, Carlo Nalino, acknowledged that the books written by Al-Khwarizmi in geography and astronomy were not merely quotations from Greek geography, but represented his original contributions, making geography an independent science. Dr. Sigrid Hunke from Germany said, Al-Khwarizmi will always be remembered for his writings into important books in mathematics, first Algebra and Al-Muqabala, and the second book in arithmetic, which discusses the use of number systems, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and fractions. Al-Khwarizmi made significant contributions to advancing human civilization to the modern era we now know. During a period when Europe was rising to progress and catching up with its civilization, Al-Khwarizmi's name among scientists seemed more potent than magic. This led them to compose poetry highlighting the birth of this scientist, who had led them out of ignorance into the light of knowledge and warmth. However, when it had risen, the Western world truly forgot Al-Khwarizmi until some moderate scholars realized the importance of restoring Al-Khwarizmi's rights to him. Muhammad bin Musa Al-Khwarizmi passed away 850 AD in Baghdad. May Allah bestow His mercy upon this scientist and teacher of ours. So, that's our story this time. Hopefully, the story of Al-Khwarizmi will inspire us to diligently seek knowledge, because it is also our religious obligation. With the spirit of learning and seeking knowledge, may the Islamic civilization rise again, and may we be part of that civilization. Ameen. Wallahu aklam bis hawab. Wassalamualaikum.